Free to come to the bar and take one of those glasses of Chardonnay that I just pulled for you. Take one of those glasses, but please don't drink the wine yet. I will explain you the reason why when everybody has a glass. But as of now, feel free to come to the bar, take one of those glasses of Chardonnay. But once you have your glass in your hands, please resist the temptation. Don't drink the wine yet. I will explain you the reason why when everybody has a glass of wine out here in the open. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, those of you who just arrived to the car, please feel free to come to the bar and take one of those glasses of Chardonnay that I just put for you. I am just going to ask you very, very kindly, please right now resist the temptation to not drink the wine yet. I will explain you the reasons why when everybody has a glass. Feel free to smell and look at the wine right now, but please don't drink the wine yet. Perfect. And there is one left. I'm not your Alright, let's see. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's double check. Make sure that everybody's ready for the first 3 tastings of the day. Because for a very strange reason, I still have a glass of wine left at the bar. Maybe, I don't know how to count because I went to a school in a third world country, ladies and gentlemen. I thought that I had 27 guests on board. And I counted 27 glasses of wine. Why is it that there is another one in the where is the one on the bar? Oh, okay, she's coming. Okay, good. We figured it out. I know how to count. That's not really it. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I ask all of you very, very kindly to resist the temptation and to not drink the wine yet for a couple of reasons that I want to explain to you right now, okay? The first reason is that in just a moment, I will share with all of you a tasting technique that I learned here in Napa, and in order to practice this technique, I need you to have enough wine in the glass to take at least 3 sips out of a glass of wine, okay? But that's gonna be in a moment. Let me be honest with you, this technique is a very basic technique. This technique is gonna be more useful for you if you, like myself, consider yourself a wine enthusiast rather than a wine connoisseur or a wine expert. So if you consider yourself a wine connoisseur or a wine expert, disregard my request. Please feel free to start enjoying your wine. Probably you are familiar with what I'm going to explain in a moment, and also you already know how you like to drink your wines, okay? But if you don't, I think that this is going to be worth it, okay? Now, the other reason why I asked you not to sip on the wine yet is because, ladies and gentlemen, I need to provide very important information to all of you. And based on my experience, it will be easier for you to retain the information if I give it to you before you start drinking. So once you start drinking, you may start forgetting things, you know, that's in wine, it may happen to you, but I really hope that you will remember this because, as I just said, this is important. The first important thing that you need to know and to remember is that for the next hour, the hour that we will spend here, the glass that you're holding right now, that will be your best friend. You may agree with me, it's not easy to find best friends in life. Trust me when I tell you, in the next hour, you will not find another best friend. Please don't lose the glass. The glass that you're holding right now is the one that you will need to taste the next 2 wines that you will enjoy here. So if somebody wants to take your glass, fight for it because you will not get another one, okay? That being said, ladies and gentlemen, another thing that I think may be important for you today to know and that hopefully you will remember is my name. Allow me to introduce myself properly. I haven't done that yet. Probably Sandy at the dining car already mentioned my name, or maybe you read it on my name tag. But I'd like to introduce myself properly. My name is Oscar. I am the Metro on board, or manager on board. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am aware of the fact that my accent is a little bit strange, strong, or ugly if you wish. That's because, ladies and gentlemen, I am not from Napa and I am not from California. I actually come from that beautiful place where the first wine plant was planted in America. That place is Mexico, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry, I am legal here. So everybody, we're good. But that's why I speak the way I speak. But the reason why I think my name may be important for you is because I will be with you all day long. Part of my many responsibilities today, actually the main one, is to make sure that your experience with us at the Legacy Tour is as flawless as it can be. That's why I will also be with you during the tours at the wineries that you will visit today. So please, if today you need anything, feel free to ask me, and I will do my best to accommodate for you and to help you with whatever it is you may need at the moment. And also, please, if today you have any question, either about wine or Napa Valley, feel free to ask me. I probably have the answer for you. Because even though, as I just said, I am not from Napa, and let me make this very clear, I am not a sommelier. I do enjoy drinking wine like you do. I have done it for a while. I got here in Napa in 2017. And I am pretty sure that probably the questions that you may have, I already asked, or somebody asked me those before, so probably have your answer, okay? Feel free to ask. And if I don't have the answer, no worries. We will learn something at that moment because I do have my very two good friends here on my bucket, called Google and ChatGPT. I will ask them and get the answer for us, okay? But my point is, feel free to ask today if you need anything. Now, ladies and gentlemen, something that I need all of you to remember today is the fact that timing will be important for us today. The reason why is because today we make 3 stops. At each of the stops, you enjoy your tastings. This is the first stop, and this tasting you will enjoy in the train. You will not get off the train at this stop. But at the next 2 stops, you will have to get off the train because you will enjoy the tastings at the wineries that we will visit. Before you get off the train at the next 2 stops, Sandy will tell you what time we're supposed to be back on board. Please pay attention when she provides that information and try to remember those times so we can make it back on board on time. The reason why this is important is because today we have 2 trains running. The other train is bigger than this one, it carries more people than this one, and today that train is behind us, ladies and gentlemen. So, if you look up there, you will see that there is only 1 track, ladies and gentlemen. I like when everybody checks because that means that you're paying attention. And also, this is kind of a test. If you see more than 1 track right now, I'm gonna need your glass back. But you have had enough wine, okay? Not just kidding, but what that really means is that if we are delayed today, we will affect the other trains' schedule. They are counting on us to be on time so they can make it to their destinations on time as well. So please try to make it back on board on time. But I just told you, I will be with you. You know him? Or you owe him money? Huh? Because that was not friendly, huh? Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, try to make it back one more time. But I just told you, I will be with you all day long. Part of my many responsibilities today is to remind you when it's time to go back to the train and to make sure that we don't leave anybody behind. So, that being said, let's go back to what I told you at the beginning, the tasting technique that I learned here in Napa Valley. This technique, I learned it at the Robert Mondavi Winery. That's where I learned this. And this was a game changer for me about drinking wine. This blew my mind when I learned it. That's why I'm sharing it with you, hoping that this in the future will help you too have a better experience when you drink wine. The whole point of the technique is to wait until the 3rd sip that you take out of a glass of wine to make that very important decision about either liking or not liking the wine that you are drinking. This is because we normally make that decision based on the very first sip. At that winery, they explained to me that's not the best way. The best way is to wait until the 3rd one. I will explain you why and how this works as we go through the process. All I'm going to ask you is please pay a lot of attention and focus on what happens in your mouths. Please don't stress out, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a formal tasting, one of those where people analyze the organoleptic characteristics of the wine before drinking it. Those are way more complex and many times kind of pretentious, honestly. You know, when people, for some strange reason that I don't understand, they raise the glass to look at the color of the wine. I don't know why they do that, because I don't think that the color of the wine will change. You raise it, but they like to do it up high, right? After doing that, they swirl the wine and smell the wine. Then they raise it again and swirl it again, and now they like to look at the legs and the tears. Don't worry about any of that, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna skip all that process. We're gonna go straight to the fun part, which is tasting the wine, okay? Go ahead, take the first sip out of your glass of wine, and please pay attention to what you experience in your mouth, in your palate. And I really hope that your experience will be similar to mine, so this will make sense to you. If it is, you will notice, ladies and gentlemen, that it is going to be after the first sip that you take out of a glass of wine, that some of you, many of you, most of you, or hopefully all of you, will start feeling salivation happening in your mouth. If you start feeling that reaction right now, the reason why it's explained to me is because right now your body or your palate is reacting to the acidity of the wine. The pH in the wine is different than the one in the human body, and that's why we start salivating. They told me that this salivation is kind of a defense reaction of the human body, biological or physiological reaction that is actually based on back in the days when people used to go out looking for food. Out there, many times they could find new products that they didn't know if it was something dangerous to consume or not. It could be something poisonous. That's why when your body gets in contact with something new, something strange, or something that it's not used to, it tries to dilute it in preparation for the consumption of it to make sure that you will be safe. That's why you salivate, okay? Now, what I will ask you to do next is this time, with the following sip, before you swallow the wine, hold it in your mouth for at least 3 seconds. I know that 3 seconds sounds very easy, but it can be challenging, so please count in your heads. And during those 3 seconds, pay attention to what you experience in your mouth this time. As I said, I hope that your experience will be similar to mine. And if it is, you will notice, ladies and gentlemen, that the second sip, compared to the first one, is not going to be the same experience. It is going to change. Maybe a little, maybe a lot, but it has to be different. Probably the first one was kind of a shocking experience, not the most pleasant one, right? But the second one compared to that one is going to be smoother, nicer, or easier to enjoy. The reason why is because it's not that strange anymore. You're starting to get familiarized with the characteristics of the wine. You are getting used to those acidity levels, and also, if you paid enough attention as you were holding it in your mouth, you may have felt the salivation happening too. Before you swallowed it, it was already diluted. It was more balanced with the characteristics of your body. That's why it's also smoother, okay? But they told me that the human body is very wise. It is at this point when it starts to understand or realize that there is a pattern over here. Because probably with the first sip you didn't have the nicest experience, but you established the fact that this is something safe to consume, so you took another sip. There the experience changed. It was nicer, better, and smoother. So now your body thinks, okay, hold on. That was the same product when it happened twice already. That means that that was not a mistake. Chances are high that there is a third one coming. The first two, I was not prepared, it caught me off guard. What's going on? But since now I am expecting it to happen, I am ready for it, bring it on. That's why, as they explained to me that day, it is recommended to wait until the third sip that you take out of a glass of wine to make that decision. Because it is at this point when your palate will be ready to judge on the different characteristics of the wine, and you will be able to make the decision in a more accurate way. Feel free to take the third sip. You don't have to finish it though. This is not tequila, not the shots. Take your time. And maybe now, ladies and gentlemen, it will also be easier for you to find the notes that the winemakers and the sommeliers describe in glasses of wine. As I mentioned before, what you're drinking right now is a Chardonnay. This Chardonnay is produced here in Napa by a winery called Vice. The Vice is a boutique winery located in the north of Napa, in Santa Helena. It was founded in 2013, if I'm not mistaken, 2013, by a sommelier from Morocco. He actually started in New York, but then moved down here to Napa to make his wines. This is a 2013 vintage Chardonnay. If you don't know what the vintages in the wines are, the vintage is the year when they harvest the grapes that they used to make that wine, okay? This is a 2013 vintage, and this one, the Chardonnay grapes that they used to make this wine, those were grown in the Carneros AVA. Carneros is an area in the south of Napa, and you may wonder why is that important? Well, it is important to mention that because Carneros, being in the south of Napa, is an area that is way colder than the north of Napa, and those are better weather conditions for the growth of those kind of grapes, like Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, like the green grapes that they used to make white wine, and also some red grapes with thin skin like Pinot Noir. Those grow better in cooler weather conditions. That's why it's important to let you know that those were grown in the Carneros area here in Napa, okay? The notes that you may want to look for in the Chardonnay, in this one you may get some oak and butter notes because this one spends 12 months aging in Hungarian oak. And also this one goes through a second fermentation called the malolactic fermentation. That's when they convert malic acid into lactic acid, and that's when you get creaminess and butteriness in the wines. Personally, with this Chardonnay, I get some kind of tropical fruit notes, probably some banana, some pineapple with this one, also some lemon you can get with this one. This is a medium acidic Chardonnay. So probably you will find some of those notes, okay? At this point, ladies and gentlemen, if you still have wine in the glass and you decided that you like the Chardonnay, feel free to continue enjoying it with as many sips as you need until you finish it. But if the reason why you still have wine in the glass is because you decided that you didn't like it, it is okay. You don't have to like everything you taste. You don't have to finish everything that is poured into your glass. But please, don't throw it off the drain. There's people taking pictures around here. I don't want you to shower them with the wine. That's the reason why in the corner of the bar, there is a silver bucket. That bucket is not my tip jar. That bucket is a bucket for you to dump the wine that you don't want to finish. I have it right over there because right now, ladies and gentlemen, I will wait for every single one of you at the bar so you can come and present your glass to me. When you do that, I will pour for you the next wine that you will enjoy here. Your next wine is going to be red wine. Okay, we're gonna move on to red wine, but the next wine, don't be scared if you don't like red wine. This is a very light red wine. This is going to be a Pinot Noir, so it's definitely not going to be one of those very astringent, high in tannins wines, because Pinot Noir is a grape with very thin skin. So they don't extract a lot of tannins. Tannins are actually the element that creates the sensation of astringency with the palate, and the tannins are mainly contained in the skin and the seeds of the grapes. So this grape, being a grape with very thin skin, doesn't get a lot of tannins, so it's going to feel way lighter in your palate. You're going to see it in the color. Actually, it's almost a rosé. It's very light. It's going to feel very light in your palate. It's going to be kind of refreshing, actually. And you may want to look for some red berry notes in that one. Probably some strawberry, raspberry. Also, they describe some rose petals in the Pinot Noir that you're going to enjoy next. And the Pinot Noir that you're going to enjoy next, as the last wine that you will enjoy here and the one that you're enjoying right now, all three are produced by the same winery. Again, the name of that winery is Weiss. This Weiss located in the south and the north of Napa, okay? So when you're ready for your next wine, meet me at the bar, I will pour it for you, and as soon as you have the wine in your glass, you can drink it right away. I will not explain anything else about your next wine, okay? Welcome to Napa, everybody. Cheers.
That's what I really came through for me, and I was like, "Is this one have pineapple?" And then you said it.
Yeah,
so
I
like,
do get
yeah,
that note as that one. Well, I hope that you will enjoy this one. Okay?
Thank you.
My pleasure. Cheers.